So this is Hubble Deep Field. So I know this is writing in language, but we still want to read the title and the introduction because we want to get the thesis statement, the main idea. So HST was launched in 1990 to provide researchers with views of the universe undiminished by interference from Earth's atmosphere. So this is just background information like expository text. After a misshapen mirror was fixed, the HST began returning clear, breathtaking images that greatly advanced, so this is positive, scientific understanding of the known universe. However, strong transition, what is going on here? The director suspected that the HST blah, blah, blah. Okay, so what can set up the information that follows? He thought it might be used to study the farthest reaches of space and answer fundamental questions. So it could be used to do a lot more potential, right? So it is positive, it's powerful. So we have to choose D, could do more, okay? And then afterwards, we see apostrophe for 13. At the time, no one knew exactly how far the HST could see into space. Williams wanted to test the telescope's capabilities. We know it's singular telescope, so apostrophe S, and capabilities needs to be noun. So this is, without a doubt, C. And moving on, transition word. Okay, so I can start skipping around. Successfully detecting far off galaxies, those billions of light years away, would allow scientists to see these objects as they were billions of years ago. With ongoing observation, they could also determine, so they can learn this, they can also learn that. So we know that this is a continuation. So which transition words indicates also continuation? Well, furthermore, because A, B, and D are all contrast. Okay, and number 15, we know this is verb tense, so let's start. Some of William's colleagues thought that it was unwise to spend so many hours, so there is debate, right? Some people disagree, thinking it's a crappy idea. To try to look into seemingly empty space, they argue that William should use his observation time for other projects. These scientists were concerned, so far our verb tenses there in the past, right? Concerned that the study, of course, we can cross out the present tense, but when we're talking about something that was in the past, but it hasn't happened or it hadn't happened yet, we would use would. They were afraid that the study would show only the limitations. That is, what it could not do. So now, which quotation from William provides the most effective support for the point the writer is making in this paragraph? So let's see what point he's making. William said later as he recalled the experience. So how did William react to his colleague's objection? He vowed that he would resign from his position if he failed. So we need to choose one that shows he is willing to risk everything, right? So of course, the answer would be B. It requires risk, and I would resign if I fail. If the effort proved to be, so remember, this is the same thing as question 15. Even though it happened in the past, it hadn't happened yet at the time we were speaking. So we want to use infinitive in this case, if it proved to be an embarrassment. And number 18. Okay, so under his supervision, the HST focused on a small patch of sky for a total of, we know total and sum, they are the same thing. So this is redundancy. So we just choose A for this one. The researchers then process and combine the images into a composite picture. They called the composite picture. So we see here they is redundant researchers. Composite picture is being repeated as well. So we want to choose the one that is the most concise, avoid repetition, keep the same relationship, right? And we know that since this is not contrast, B is out. This is not cause and effect, C is out. D has repetition, they then called it. So we want the shortest answer, and that would be A. Okay, and now let's take a look at 20. Let's go back a sentence before 20. Some of the galaxies were as much as 12 billion years old. So we know that the pronoun is referring to some of the galaxies, which is plural possessive. So we want to choose there, T-H-E-I-R. Okay, and number 21. Okay. The HDF was a major breakthrough in astronomy, illuminating the early history of the universe and helping astronomers construct a more complete picture of how. All right, so we see the word how. This is actually testing us on noun clause. So what is a noun clause? We have something called a question noun clause. For example, where are you from? This is a question, right? And a question, of course, ends with a question mark and comes in verb, subject, word order. However, if I rephrase it into a statement, tell me where you are from, we change it into period and subject verb word order. So this is the same thing. Essentially, this is a statement. So we want to cross out the ones with question mark, and we want to choose the one with subject verb structure and not verb subject. So the answer would be C. Okay, last question for this passage. The writer wants a conclusion that links the success of William's work back to a discussion earlier in the passage. So what was the discussion earlier? Well, they were concerned, right, that he was going to fail. And then he said that, he would resign. People were disagreeing, saying that this is not a good idea. So if we take a look at A, the whole community of scientists who study space, even those initially skeptical because there was debate or controversy in the beginning, shared in the reward, and it turned out to be a success. So A would be the best answer. Okay, and that's it for this passage.